smoking, now enjoy the program. Thank you for being part of the Cigar Club fam.
What's going on, Cigar Club family? Welcome back to another Cigar Club podcast. I'm David Pugh. Joining me, as always, is Griff Howie. We've got some extra special guests today. We have Renee and Hector of Villiger Cigars. We are smoking our 2023 Customs blend with them. We've got two different options today, so we're going to smoke through them, figure out which one we like, lock it in, but it's just going to be laid back, relaxed. No one needs to worry. Renee,
I can hear it in Hector's heart.
Renee, you've poured us some extra special rum. I always ask Griff what he is drinking. What are we drinking today, this afternoon?
Now, listen, we are drinking this beautiful rum from Panama. The name is Zafra. And we started with the 23-year-old one, but right now we are into the 30-year-old one. It's a great friend of mine. His name is Garner Blandon. He's the owner of the Zafra brand. And this rum has been in the market, I think, for the last 10 years. And it was selected by the Chicago Beverage Industry Institute as the best rum in the world.
Wow.
96 points they gave it to the rum. I think from my experience, my taste, my personal taste is the best rum to have with cigars.
Wow.
Renee, I was really hoping we would get to maybe 35 years on this trip, so 30 years will do, I suppose.
If we have to settle, you can settle on a 30-year.
I've never had anything like this.
No,
I'm used to Captain Morgan.
If freshman year David could look at me now where I was drinking handles of Captain Morgan spiced rum, and oh my goodness, little did I know then. Yeah, it's
no, but I highly recommend this rum Zafra because on the premium side is not as sweet as any of the other premium rums, which makes it a great partner for cigars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And especially if you're trying a cigar for the first time, that you want to really taste the blend and appreciate the flavors and all the nuances of the cigar, this is the rum that you want to have because it will balance out without overpowering the flavors of the cigar. So I think it's available on all the Total Wines and all the major liquor stores.
Oh, that's great to know.
Yes,
Good plug. Good plug.
Yeah,
yes,
there you go.
that is nationally available.
We don't ever drink rum on podcasts. Well, you do more so than me, but I don't have rum.
But I've always wanted to dip my toe into the premium section of rums. You know, I love my Diplomatico, but I am aware that it's very sugar-laden. It's very sweet. It's cloyingly sweet. I appreciate it for what it is. Don't get me wrong, but I've wanted to kind of step past that and not necessarily become a rum purist, but I know rum purists kind of maybe frown upon those, sugary rums.
Absolutely. And there are some excellent ones with these, heavy on the sugar side, which are great, but not the best choice to have it with the cigar. Especially with the cigar, like what we're doing now. We're tasting a cigar, so we need something that doesn't overpower the flavor of the cigars because our goal here is to decide what's going to happen with any of these two blends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is rum your go-to over Scotch or whiskey?
And depending on the time of the year, I will say this, mostly rum. I tend to go to the Scotch, the single malts, during the winter time.
Yeah.
Whatever winter is in Miami, no?
Well, it's a great question.
Yeah. But I do enjoy the Scotch here and there, but usually when it's November, December, January, and February, I'm more into the Scotch. Then I move into the rum for the rest of the year. And I'm open-minded. I try Nicaragua, Dominican, Panamanian rums, Guatemala, Zacapa. So there is a full expression of rums out there that is interesting. The other day, I even was having rum from Barbados. Our friend from Cigar Snob, Eric Albino, brought the bottles, and we were into that one. And man, that was the closest thing to a cognac that I've ever tasted in my life from the rum point of view.
Interesting.
Amazingly, anything from that area that it was very good. Nothing out of this world price-wise. The regular Barbados rum, they know what they're doing over there. You have to give it to them.
Yeah, just to show how little I know about rum, obviously I knew different regions obviously make rum, but knowing that and it makes sense when you say it out loud, but the difference between Nicaraguan, Dominican, et cetera, and that the flavor profile is going to change across them. That's
complete.
And we go with the basic statement: what grows together goes together. And that's the
Makes
main
sense, yeah.
reason
Great statement.
that we tend to go more, and you see more of the cigar people tend to go more into their rums, than any other drink. But it's mainly because of that. We have this saying about what grows together goes together,
Like
and
that.
and that's the way that we use it. So again, it's a lot of things from the different countries, from simple rums that could cost like $12
Yeah.
to the fancy ones that we're drinking that is about $200 a bottle.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of everything for anybody in the rum
Certainly.
universe, for sure.
Well, you are both new guests, first-time guests on our podcast.
Long-time listener.
Long-time listener,
First-time
first-time guest.
Thank you.
Well, Renee doesn't listen to our shit, so.
Well, honestly, I don't blame him. Hector does. Thank you. For anyone listening and watching, we good? We can wait.
Good.
All right. So, for anyone listening and watching, Renee, if you'll tell them a little bit about yourself, and then Hector, if you would as well.
Sure.
For sure. I'm Rene Castaneda. What can I tell you? I'm 53. I'm the president of Villiger Cigars. 53 years old. That sounds like a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
You look great. Don't let Griff bring you down.
I've been in the industry for 25 years. The last 7 years with Villiger Cigars. It has been a great experience working with Villiger being a global company. Our headquarters are in Switzerland. We have factories for machine-made cigars, one in Switzerland, 2 in Germany, 1 in Indonesia. And then on the handmade side, we have the factory in the Dominican Republic, factory in Brazil. And in October 21, we opened Villiger de Nicaragua. That was our latest addition to factories. And we are planning to do the grand opening, the official grand opening of that factory next year on January during the Puro Sabor Festival in Nicaragua.
Oh, wow.
So I hope that you guys can join us over there because we're planning to be part of the festival and to do the grand opening over there. Villiger, again, it's a global company. We do have a large portfolio of machine-made cigars. We do have also a nice portfolio of handmade cigars. And we also have pipe tobacco.
Yeah.
And lately, especially in the US, we have been focused on promoting or giving exposure to our handmade cigars. The people know us well because of the machine-made cigars and the quality that we put over there. We're more known as the premium of the machine-made.
Certainly.
But we're working more and more and dedicating more time and resources for the people to be more familiar with the Villiger brand on the premium handmade cigars. So again, 7 years with Villiger, and we keep improving. We keep going with the Villiger brand and trying to make more exciting things for the consumers to know us better and to know our capabilities of blending, using different type of tobaccos. I think, the last release that we had was the Villiger Miami, and then we did the Villiger de Nicaragua. But we're coming with new things every year, and we tried also to step out of our factories when we go with some projects like the TAA. Every single year, we try to go to a different manufacturer to work with them, to learn from them, to make a cigar.
Cool.
The first TAA that we did it with Ernesto Perez Carrillo. The second year, we did it with Hochi Blanco at Tabacalera Palma. The third year, we did it with Eric Espinosa at Tabacalera La Zona. And now we're working on our fourth iteration of the TAA. That will keep that for a surprise because will be announced very soon.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Hector?
No more thing to say. No more. He said it all. Well, no, my name is Hector Pires, and I've been working with Villiger for the past 5 years. And Rene was the one that gave me the opportunity to enjoy this beautiful industry. Be honest with you, never had an experience with cigars besides smoking cigars, which I thought I knew a lot. Then when I started working with Rene, I figured out that I didn't know nothing about cigars. So that's my teacher, my mentor. We call him El Profesor.
Yeah.
The professor.
That's right. That's right.
So it's been a nice journey. With Villiger, of course, working for a company that was established since 1888. There's a lot of history behind it.
Certainly.
So very happy, very happy. Still learning, still working hard. I'm glad that I have met you guys. It was back on 2019, I think it was a TPE.
I don't remember.
I don't even
I
remember.
was just thinking, it's like every time we come, It's like family. It's like
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
and it's been like that. It's been a journey that we've worked together, and very pleased to be with you guys.
yeah.
That's the beauty of this industry, that you create so many friendships, true friendships over the years, and you exchange ideas, and you discuss serious things and stupid things and many other things at the same time.
Couple good ideas in between.
Yes, but it's all about the cigars, the conversation about the cigars. For example, just to give an idea, Mr. Villiger, the chairman of the company, 92 years old. The man still goes to the office every single day. He smokes 5 cigars per day. And he's telling me the day that I die, everybody will tell that I was smoking too many cigars.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
What is his go-to smoke?
You know what? He is pretty much in love with Brazilian tobacco.
Okay.
Okay.
He loves Brazilian cigars, and that was his, I would say, his baby, his project to put Villiger do Brasil. That was his thing, because for his experience and enjoying tobacco from all parts of the world, the Brazilian tobacco is his go-to tobacco.
Interesting.
Yeah, when you're Mr. Villiger, you get exposed from tobacco from everywhere.
yeah.
Can only imagine.
And you can play around with different things and finally find something that is, okay, this is my go-to cigar, regardless of what the market says. This is what I like.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that out of that one, he created the factory Villiger do Brasil and started making the Brazilian puros that we have today in the market.
When did he start smoking cigars? Do you know?
Listen, he has been in the company as the head of the company. There's an interesting story over there. It's still a family-owned company.
Okay.
His grandfather started the company, but his grandfather passed away early. He was just about 45.
Okay.
So his grandmother took over the company. And it was Jean Villiger, his grandmother, that really took the company to the next step. And at that moment, it was just Villiger, Switzerland. She opened Villiger, Germany. From them, it was Mr. Villiger and his brother Casper that took over the company. But his brother Casper had political ambitions. And Mr. Villiger bought him out. And he took control of the company about 50 years ago.
Golly.
Wow.
But his brother didn't do that bad. He has been 2 times Prime Minister of Switzerland.
Okay. Well, that was a
Good
decision for him, I guess.
For both.
So it's part of that, the history of the company. Mr. Villiger has been running the company for the last 50 years. I think Villiger is the only company that has been a major sponsor of a Formula One team, for example. He has been always, we have it over there, the picture. Two.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he has been, again, imagine a guy at 40, 45 being Mr. Playboy all over the world and having a Formula One team. Like, listen, you can really call the shots when you have this type of power. And he realized early in the game, and I'm talking about 30 years ago, that he needed to move on because the future of tobacco will be premium cigars. I mean, all the establishment, the governments were attacking cigarettes first, and now they're attacking cigarillos, the small cigars. So in his view, the future of tobacco, it's premium cigars where it's all adults, no kids.
Yeah.
It's the enjoyment of the premium tobacco.
Yep.
So it's a complete different universe than from cigarettes, that if you smoke cigars, it's because you want to relax, you want to have a good time.
Yeah.
Cigars have what I call the duality, that you can smoke it by yourself just to reflect and think and meditate, or do it with friends to socialize. So you have the duality of that one. So cigars brings that, and it's evolving into that one. Even, I don't know if you guys heard that Honduras and even Dominican Republic with UNESCO have been able to evolve and to put cigars on a historic heritage product. So that way it's more protected by international laws on that one. So now it's part of UNESCO.
Wow.
Handmade cigars from Honduras, handmade cigars from Dominican Republic. I think they're working on the part from Nicaragua. But it's one of the steps to protect
Certainly.
for the future, for the long-term future, premium handmade cigars.
Wow. That's great.
What a wealth of knowledge.
I think he may secretly listen to the podcast because the amount of times that we've talked about cigars being this kind of social aspect and whether it be by yourself and kind of taking a step away from the hustle and bustle of life and dedicating time to yourself to smoke a premium cigar, or if it's a setting like this where you're smoking with friends, I
mean, I think
you
that
could
the
say you
best
listen to the
company,
podcast. It's okay.
The best thing that happened to all of us, meaning cigar smokers, during COVID was cigars. We had a partner to be together to
Hence
smoke.
the Miami. I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, as awful as a time as 2020 and 2021 were, it was my escape from, the uncertainty of everything. Couldn't really go anywhere. And so I got nothing to do. I'm going to go out back porch and
Smoke a cigar.
smoke a cigar.
Cigar time, baby.
Read a book. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was pretty much cigar time was every single day.
I was just having a little bit of rum to that
Yeah.
exercise
Yeah, there was whiskey.
Yeah.
Actually, it was wine for me. That was the start of my wine journey. But yeah, it was that escape, and I think it was that escape for a lot of people, just to take a step back and remove yourself from that uncertainty.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cigars
No, but
was-
listen, and the beauty of this is that there is always something new to explore. I think this industry evolved in a good pace, that you always have something new to try, and there is always that adventurous part of it. That there is always this new cigar to be released, this new limited edition from the different companies. I believe, and this is just my assertion of the situation right now, it's very difficult for any company to make a bad cigar. I mean,
Yeah.
the problem is to make it good in a consistent basis.
Right.
But listen, for the first time that you try a brand, you don't have a very good chance that you're going to smoke a very good cigar.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is very good tobacco out there. There is more professionalism, into the production and into the agronomy part of the tobacco,
Certainly.
which make us very lucky to be able to smoke better and better cigars every day.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had the 90s kind of saw a spike in cigar smoking, and then we kind of saw that resurgence over the last several years. And while I wasn't smoking cigars in the 90s, I would have been 2 or 3 years old. It certainly seems like this is the time to be a cigar smoker, almost spoiled with how many great options that we have and new manufacturers coming out. And yeah, it's just a good time to be a cigar smoker.
I mean, the only part I was telling you before we started the podcast, that the tough part right now is the Habanos, the Cuban cigars.
Mm-hmm.
There is not enough out there. There is problems in production. There is problem in logistics. There's problem in politics regarding the Habanos. That I was telling you that I just came from the tobacco fair in Germany,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see there is the popularity of the non-Cuban cigars, what they called in Europe the New World cigars, and this is not related to AJ Fernandez brand. It's the New World cigars. It's that part. For the first time, due to the situation of the Cuban cigars, the international markets, mainly the Europeans, are exposed to the non-Cuban cigars, and they're for the first time really appreciating what is being done in Nicaragua and Honduras and the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, at this point, Griff and I aren't Cuban smokers by any means. I can't tell you the last time I had a Cuban cigar, but I think it's about time everyone else really gets to see what Nicaragua has done, Dominican Republic has done, Honduras, etc. The tobacco, it's great. And it's great to see people start to appreciate that outside of North America, and really see just how far these other countries have come. All right, Griff's way ahead of the game. The man's charging through. Before he really gets too far ahead, we have been smoking blend number 1 so far.
Correct.
We have a beautiful torpedo. Can you tell us the blend breakdown? The initial idea when we started this conversation was Griff and I are huge fans of the Kareem wrapper, that beautiful Ecuadorian Connecticut. I'm a huge fan of the Claro. And the idea was to come with some hybrid between the two. So what are we starting off with?
Absolutely.
As Griff already jumps ahead.
We took that basic conversation that we had, what we were looking for. So what we decided to do was like to take the base of our Villiger Cuellar cream and to step it up a notch in strength and flavor. And with that, we did a couple of things. We're going to have blend number 1 and blend number 2. Both of them have an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, and both of them has a double binder,
Oh,
an Indonesian and a Nicaraguan binder.
wow.
The number one has Nicaraguan and Dominican in the filler, and the number two is just Dominican in the filler.
Okay.
So that was the one. The change in reality is that in the filler, two binders, Indonesian and Nicaraguan, the wrapper Ecuador, Connecticut, and in the filler we mix it up a little bit to see if you want a little bit more spicy earthiness that brings the Nicaraguan tobacco, or to tone it down a little bit. That would be the one on the number two. So on this one, again, Connecticut wrapper, the binder, Indonesian and Nicaragua, and in the filler is Nicaraguan and Dominican tobaccos. This cigar has been made, for full disclosure, just about a month ago.
Yeah, so it's still fairly
I'm
new.
going to keep my thoughts to myself so I don't influence you guys with my wisdom and not my knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you.
I invite. He's laughing. I invite you to light up number two.
Well,
do it.
gladly so. And why we do this, I'm unfamiliar with double binder. I'm sure I've smoked plenty of cigars that utilize the double binder, whether or not I knew that going into it. What is the purpose or the benefit of, is it just the leaf priming that is beneficial of using a double binder, or is there something else?
The goal was to use the keyword that you put on the conversation to add richness to the flavor of the cigar. We were not working on the strength. We were just working on having a more complex, rich, flavorful cigar.
Okay.
That was the goal that we had on that one. So that's the reason that we decided to go with that double binder to add that extra layer of flavor.
That's real. I mean, not that I blend cigars, but that would have never been something that I thought was a
So
possibility.
don't give me too much credit. I'm not a master blender.
No, but-
but
Well, you do have some involvement in this. Let's not be too humble here.
So what are we drinking over there?
Look at me.
Well, of
He's
course.
just-
He
he's just
could not
flying
forget
through this.
PCA.
Yeah.
How can he
You guys
forget
keep talking. Don't worry about me over here.
You need to check to make sure these tubes have bottles in them before we leave.
I'm having major flashbacks to PCA. I might as well keep this out because you guys are going to be.
We will.
Yeah, that's a matter of fact. I'm sorry I didn't reply to you on the podcast. I should have.
It's all good.
No, Hector's
Right
a long-time
back,
listener here.
So this is the Benriac. The Benriac has 4 expressions. I'm gonna talk
Wow.
fancy over here. 4 expressions. The 10 original, the 10 smoky,
Yep.
the 12 original, and the 12 smoky. So it depends on what you want to do. Which one are you having?
10
The
original. 10 original.
And I would suggest that when we move later to heavier cigars,
Yeah.
you go to the smoky ones.
Yeah.
they hold
Especially
up.
the 12 smoky. That is for men. You know, that is a whiskey that has complex personality,
Right.
character. That's a completely different animal than the original. That is, I mean, it's nice.
It is.
It's easy going.
When we were with you guys at PCA and we were smoking the Miami,
Wow. I would say.
we brought this out and I'm like, oh God, Scotch. Everyone knows I'm not a Scotch guy, but this Scotch is,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's,
You wanted to say damn good, didn't you? You did. I saw it. You wanted to say damn good.
let me have another sip first.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went through a bottle like nothing, right?
We all left a little.
Yeah, it's damn
It's
good.
damn good. And there is a world of scotch for you.
And there is.
Yeah.
No,
I
it's
It's
I think
tequila
it's
right
even
now.
bigger than rums.
Yeah,
I know. I'm in this. I'm in
probably.
tequila swell right now.
He is.
But it's getting cooler, so I'm going back to bourbon. But summer was the summer of all tequilas.
Man, put away some tequila. I'm not
Listen,
gonna-
I'm curious. I have a couple of good friends in Kentucky that they have. They created a company called Broadleaf Bourbons,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're about to put. They put out the Brothers of the Leaf.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
And
just saw that
I got
other
the
day.
samples. I'm waiting to be able to buy some of
Oh,
those.
wow.
Very
Small
cool.
world.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think not to jump off too far off the rails. As much as I love bourbon,
Man.
I think the world of Scotch has much more variety, much more nuances. They don't
Easy.
have the limitations of what bourbon does. To be bourbon, you've got a XXX and X, where Scotch has a lot more of a playground available to them with finishing in certain, wine casks, the malt available, the different regions of Scotland. it's what got me into Scotch because I was just kind of tired of the same bourbon profile, right? And so you put your toe in it and you're like, wow, that's really good. You find something you like, you explore. Right now we're drinking Speyside. Explore what Speyside has to offer. Then you go to Highland and then you go to Isla and
There's so
whatnot.
much
And
that
then
you can-
blended scotches with Compass Box or Johnny Walker.
Right.
There's a lot more to be found. And honestly, I think it's easier to find some Scotch.
My first trip to Scotland, true story. So I'm driving, driving a car, I rented a car. I'll tell you the story about driving on the other side with a manual shift car. That's a completely different thing. But then I decided by accident, I got to the Loch Ness, the lake.
Oh, cool.
So I said, like, why not? I'm going to stay over here. And I took a tour of the distillery close by, and I bought some scotch, and I took it to the room. I had a balcony to the lake. And trust me, after a bottle, you're going to see all the monsters that went from that lake.
yeah. Nessie was swimming around, wasn't she?
No matter
hell
what.
is that?
What the hell is that, brother? Can you see that
It's
shit?
true.
It's true. It's,
Maybe that's how this friggin' Loch Ness monster came to be.
I'm
sure.
I
It's just
agree.
David
I saw
floating
it.
out there.
I can swear I saw it.
A bunch of drunk guys on the balcony just looking into the lake.
Yeah.
Nothing better to do to drink. And
Now, Hector, do you enjoy? Is it Scotch? What is your go-to spirit
Well,
if you have one?
So yeah, I was more into Scotch at the beginning because I used to work in restaurants, so I had more
Yeah, that's
wine
right.
and Scotch. I wasn't into bourbons that much, but since I've been working with cigars with Villiger, definite bourbon now is kind of my
yeah.
more to. I had more things to learn from bourbons that I had to learn from Scotch because
Sure.
Scotch kind of. I think I know pretty much. I think I drink all of them.
Plenty.
Plenty of them.
Fair share.
A fair share. But now, yeah, bourbon definitely does for me on the cigar.
I mean, I'm going to have to get a bottle of that because I'll approve it. It's good. It's good.
I mean, you could look at it as a tax write-off.
No,
There you go.
I don't worry about taxes.
No, that's Meg.
Yeah.
Tell me the secret, though.
Yeah. Are you guys on number 2?
I'm on
number
number
two.
2 now. The difference in number 2 is that this is just Dominican filler. The
Dominican
first one
filler.
was Nicaraguan and Dominican.
I don't want to influence you, but I don't know.
Sure.
There's one thing that you can notice: a little bit less of a spice
Yeah.
in the blend.
Which surprisingly, I gravitate towards more spice. But for this blend, number 2 is hitting it perfect.
Immediately, first puff, number 2 was it. Like,
It is so good.
yeah.
Listen, I like both, but again, it's more of what you guys were looking for.
Yeah.
That was the reason that we presented the two of them, with just changing the composition of the filler.
Yeah.
It's refreshing to hear that you listen to us.
I tend to
So,
pay attention to it.
Number 2 is right on point.
Yeah, I mean, from the
I'm
initial...
going to go back to 1 for sure, but
And do the retrohale? Oh,
Yeah.
it is
it
right
is
there.
very good.
When like I said, I love the Karim Ecuadorian. It's just a beautiful wrapper, but I wanted something more medium, something, that's a little bit more body, a little bit more punch to it. And, when you were telling us the number 1 was going to be a little more spicy, I was like, oh, that's that. But lighting up number 2,
we
first
took
puff-
it like we needed the two of them to be above in complexity and richness than the cream.
Yeah.
So that was the way that we were working on it. And again, adding the little Nicaraguan on number 1 to spice it up even a notch
Sure.
more. So I'm glad that you're enjoying both of them and even the number 1 to be your first thought. Let's see what happened a little bit later.
Yeah, well, exactly. And there's just something really cool about...
Like Hector says, do the retro hell on this one. It's a beautiful thing.
Man, it's a
Give
yeah.
it a shot again if you want to, Griff.
I'm drinking scotch. I'm a scotch drinker now.
How's that happen? I was a bourbon guy, now it's a Scotch.
Yeah.
I tell you, Pugh and I did a podcast the other day, and I don't remember about what, but I was drinking tequila with it, which I never do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was smoking HVC Pan Caliente,
Yep.
and I was drinking a Blanco tequila. It's one of the best pairings I ever had in my life. I'm like,
Wow.
what
Which
the
is-
hell?
You know that no, that's not true. I did it once in Dallas because I was with our friend Alejandro Torrent from Mexico.
Okay.
Of course, again, you think about cigars, cigar people, what grows together goes
Goes
together.
together,
So
yeah.
if you're smoking
Yeah.
Mexican cigar, you should be
Yeah.
drinking tequila.
Tequila.
Yeah.
That was the only time that I did a pairing with the tequila, and I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, we were in a nice place, the
Sure,
food was
sure.
great, and we had a
All
great
goes
time.
to it.
Everything was tasting fabulous.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a good quality, high quality tequila. Oh,
So
man.
much his excitement or his expression of how good it was, I went and bought the bottle of it. Like, I'm,
Let me
I'm
try
very,
that.
yeah, I need
I'm
to
gonna
know
try it.
what I was sleeping on. Or
Yeah,
missing out.
I think
I've
I think you're going to be pretty pleased.
done an añejo and I've done a reposado, but I've never done a good blanco with a cigar. So,
So I don't know much about tequilas. Is it better reposado? Or is it?
It's so subjective, up until, and this brand is called Cascanes, which you can't get down here, but you can order online. I drank a lot of reposados, but this Blanco, and I'm sure there's plenty of other Blancos, Single Estate Ocho is another fantastic Blanco. Up until that point, I'm like, because I think you think of Blancos, you think of like Jose Cuervo and just all these like,
Patron,
bottom shelf.
whatever.
Patron,
Patron.
yeah.
And it's just,
Right.
it's that bite and bitter, and it kind of
Yeah.
makes you shake. This thing,
like when you take shots when you're in the spring break
Exactly.
and you were young. pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, the next day, oh my god!
but
Should not have
yeah.
the last one.
this Blanca, oh man, it is.
Yeah, it's a difference.
It's killer. It's killer. But as it's getting colder, I'm getting into the higher proof bourbons. I've got plenty of it that I have to drink through. So I hate to say that the tequila is probably going to start.
so wait, you have seasons of what you drink?
Yeah.
Weather has to be with it.
You give me a hard time for switching out of beer and switching into bourbon season.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say like I'm not going to ever drink bourbon until next summer.
I mean, I don't either, and I'll have a beer or two. It's stout
The
season.
way you teed it up was like
Okay,
beers
well,
are done.
Stouts
Right.
come out in the winter.
Yes.
As a good stout, yeah.
I mean,
Thank
but
you.
I would also
Three
drink. I
versus
would also
one.
drink a. Well, I don't. I mean, 3 versus 1 does.
No, but I'm with you. If today it's summer, but I
Yeah.
feel like a scotch, I want to drink freaking
Hell
scotch.
yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
But not him. I can't do it. I told you. I did
not
my
true.
verbal statement here.
But I
can't
do
get
have
into it.
seasons of what I drink.
Yeah, whatever makes you sleep at night.
Oh yeah, a little scotch or bourbon certainly helps it a lot easier.
This is so good, and it pairs actually beautifully with it.
Better with the scotch than the rum.
I think so.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to
Let's
try
find
it.
out.
Listen,
I mean, look at my
The expert,
the expert.
has
Cheers,
spoken.
guys.
Cheers,
no
gentlemen.
expert, but
Expert has spoken.
it's.
You want to get in on this? You just want to be rude?
No, I'm gonna stay right here.
Okay.
It's just it's killer.
Ah man, it's good stuff.
And I really love the torpedo. Great Vitola for this blend.
Listen, we were following on that one. We were taking. I was telling you, we have a brand for the European market called the Villiger 1492 that we do very well. We don't sell it in the U.S. just because we don't own the trademark of 1492 in the U.S. market. But we use that as the base to create that. We don't have a torpedo Vitola in that blend.
Okay.
But we use, the base of that blend for the number 2, for the Dominican, the one with the Dominican fillers. That was that one. That is a cigar that retails, and even you can see it because we have it on the website for Switzerland. We're talking about it, $10 Swiss francs per cigar,
Wow.
which is
which is about at this point the Swiss franc is a little bit higher than the dollar. $12, $11, $12, the price point of the 1492 in Switzerland.
That's
Yeah,
my
that-
price point. I mean,
Yeah.
Pugh is, but with our relationship, he's the fancier. You'd like to spend more, and vice versa. Maybe it's me on bourbon. I don't know, or tequila. But $12 is like my cap on a cigar.
I'm with you.
I
I'm
can
with
smoke
you.
a damn
I'm
good
with you.
cigar.
If you
for-
see me smoking a cigar that is more than $15, somebody has given me this.
You didn't pay
Well,
for it.
probably my
Pay
case.
for it.
Probably my case too. Especially as many cigars as we all have, it's like
Yeah.
none of us need to be buying cigars. Period. But
As I get a delivery notification that I had a box of cigars arrive at the house today.
Yeah.
Ultra premium
I mean,
cigar.
we still do. But
and I do a lot too. I buy a lot of cigars because
Yeah.
you need to keep trying what's
Yeah,
going on
I
out
know.
there, and you need to try.
and we don't carry everything, obviously, and so yeah, we all do it, but there's no shortage.
I was impressed. Let me tell you about a brand that is not that
that's
big,
good with it.
that big over here, but I was very impressed when I was there because I went to an event in Germany. It was with the Flor de Selva, Maya Selva cigars, Honduran purists.
Oh, cool.
This lady, Maya Selva, that's the name of the lady. She's French Honduran. She's like the queen of France.
Really?
And after the Cubans, this is like the best-selling brand in France.
Wow.
And it's mainly in Honduran cigars. Whenever you get a chance, try some of the Flor de Selva
Never heard of them.
Again, in the U.S., it's a very small brand.
Okay.
When you go to France, Switzerland, it's a big thing, especially in France. You go to any cigar store, after the Cubans, that's the best-selling
Really?
cigar in France. Interesting. I mean, that Honduran, well-done, well-aged, beautiful cigars.
Yeah, I've been
Beautiful
on a big
cigars.
Honduran kick as of lately.
Yeah.
Just a region that I hadn't explored as much as Dominican Republic or Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
And it's been a fun journey. There's been a lot of really great cigars that I've been just really impressed with. And it's
Historically speaking, I think, I'm talking about maybe 15 years ago, Honduras was, after Dominican, the second best-selling cigars in the U.S. But then came Nicaragua, and I think it helped the relationships that Nicaragua had with Cuba. That a lot of agronomists and people from the scientific side came from Cuba
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
to Nicaragua to work the land, to develop the land, to make the land better.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
helped a lot for Nicaragua to, right now Nicaragua is number one, not even number
Right,
two.
yeah.
Nicaragua is number one based on the amount of cigars that are imported into the U.S. And unfortunately for Honduras, became like a third one. But I highly recommend, whenever you get a chance, there is plenty of cigars from Honduras. I think Aladinos, I think CLEs, Oscar Valladares. There is people that are making great cigars from Honduras, and these people from Flor de Selva cigars. Interesting to explore that part of it, because you're going to find something different,
Yeah. Sure,
which is
absolutely.
always the beautiful part of the cigar, to be exploring, to be trying new things out there. It's the beauty of the cigars, to
Yeah,
be
absolutely.
exploring.
There's so much to explore.
Yeah.
And we haven't even touched a fraction of it.
No, I mean, and we
Surprisingly.
you can never touch it all. I mean,
No,
there's
no,
too much
listen.
out there.
Listen, I'm exposed a lot to Cuban cigars because, as a company, Villiger, we are all the German-speaking countries, the Habanos distributor.
Yeah.
So Villiger is also Habanos in Switzerland, Germany, Austria, Poland, and Hungary. So, of course, because of the company, I have access to Cuban cigars, and I enjoy them a lot. I like them a lot. But it's, like I said to the people, the fact that they're Cuban, that they don't mean that they're all good.
Right.
It's like
Correct.
Nicaragua, Dominican, and
Yeah.
Honduras. Some of them are great, some of them
Yeah.
are good, some of them are okay, some of them are horrible or
Yeah.
bad. It's
Yeah.
it's like that. But it's the beauty of to be able to try all of them and to be exposed to as many cigars as possible.
Yeah, and we were just talking about this the other day. It may have been today. I don't know, but the more you try, something may spark an idea, or I really like that tobacco in this. Like, what can we do with it, right? Like, where can we try to experiment with that tobacco? And I imagine a lot of people who make actually the master blenders are maybe inspired by something like that.
Yes.
They taste something, they want to play with it and kind of run with it and develop their own version of it. There was no
I
other point to that.
see a lot of manufacturers playing with tobacco from Paraguay, tobacco from Colombia,
Yeah.
Yeah.
from Peru.
Yeah. Peru's a big one now.
So
Right.
it's
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica,
Right.
exactly. So it's interesting what's happening out there, because more countries are open up to at least the manufacturers are open up to work with different tobaccos from different countries. Again,
Sure.
to create something special, something
Yeah.
unique, something that it might be appealing for the consumers.
Yeah, you have to push the boundaries, or else you're just kind of stale.
Yeah.
I will say, and I'm not sucking up because you're paying for dinner tonight. Sitting here.
Little did you know now.
Sitting here. Okay, we'll take care of it. Every time we
So
come
I'm
and
gonna
visit.
take it to the nicest Cuban
Exactly.
restaurant.
Yeah.
We'll have to go change probably.
Okay.
Sitting here and smoking cigars with you guys is always a freaking pleasure.
This is gorgeous.
And doing Cigar Club Customs 2023 with you guys is just
It's an honor.
yeah.
The honor is all ours.
It's
We're
really
always
great.
pleased to work and to explore ideas and to see what else can we do especially
Yeah.
to give us the opportunity for the people to understand what Villiger is about.
Yeah.
What is Villiger? What is the brand? Because for the most part, the consumers that know about Villiger, they know that we are a European
Right.
company, but they don't know where to put us.
Yeah.
Because we are a fairly new company in the U.S.
Right.
We've only been here for the last maybe 7-8 years on a serious way to introduce the premium cigars to the market.
I think that's the really neat part about this, because obviously we've carried a ton of Villiger and we always get fantastic feedback. So taking it to another level of doing a custom cigar with you guys for Cigar Club Customs, it's like, it makes the perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Where are
So-
we with the cigar, by the way? Still
look
with number
at
2,
this
you're
one.
getting one back
I mean,
to number one.
look at
the,
that.
the
Number two.
construction on number 2
Yeah,
is,
I
is
stayed
better
beautiful.
than number 1.
And I do agree. The Scotch, I prefer it. It brought
I
a
told you
spicy.
I'm a Scotch guy.
It brought a little spicy element that just kind of just took it to another level.
It's
I had a glass
fantastic.
of water. I was choking on that damn Scotch.
I heard you down there.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he went off camera
That's
for that
man.
one.
So like, that's not the smoking one. That's the
No,
regular
that's just
original.
the-
I don't
yeah,
want to try
we
the
haven't-
smoking one. No,
I
forget
don't
about
think the
that.
smoking one would be. I don't know. I don't think it would pair too well with this.
Yeah, usually you get any type of higher peated Scotch tends to really be the forefront of whatever experience you had. To your point earlier,
Yes.
If we're going to be drinking a peated Scotch or a heavily peated Scotch, you need a full bodied cigar to really hang with it, or
Well,
else
the
it
thing,
just
what,
takes
what
it.
happens with that is that you have two lions fighting to see
Exactly.
who overcomes who's better. Is it a cigar or is it a Scotch? And then you're right there in the middle, like, oh shit,
Yeah.
it's just, forget it.
Yeah, it's hard to
Good
focus.
cigar, Scotch is
Yeah, you want to with a cigar this good, you really want it to be the forefront. You want it to
Correct.
be the driver,
the
of
driver
car.
of the party.
What's the? This is kind of a dumb question, but what's the proof of this? I didn't see it on the
40.
bottle.
All Scotches are no more than
No,
40.
so I really don't
Oh,
know.
are
But I
they?
think it's 40.
So like
Yeah,
tequila,
they,
but
they're not like bourbons that
Okay.
you have 100 proof.
43. It's 86
43.
proof.
That's a max. I
You
think
can
they
get-
do 42.
86 proof.
Yeah, you can get high proofed scotches.
Scotch? Oh, I
You do?
didn't know that.
It's
Oh yeah, there it is.
I thought they were regulated though.
I have a Lefroy, which is I think over 100 proof, so you can get them.
Oh,
although
really?
they're
It's
not
just
as
very-
common as
yes, okay.
80 to 90s.
Likewise with tequila, I thought everything was 80 until I bought that
did as well,
Cascanes.
yeah.
It's 100 proof.
That is the one I thought
Yeah.
about getting the 106 or 110,
Yeah.
but I got the 100 proof.
But you really know you're the Scotchman.
yeah.
I do enjoy them. I don't know anything about
I
them. I
love-
just enjoy
So
them.
you don't read the label. Though.
I
Yeah,
don't read
drink
the
them and
label.
that's it.
How much is this? Okay, I can pay for this. Let me have it.
My biggest, it's not necessarily an issue. My biggest hurdle with Scotch is, to me, the sweet spot for bourbon is $60. And that's much easier to justify a purchase.
Right.
Where I think the sweet spot, what's hitting? Sweet spot of Scotch is $100.
Yeah,
So
that is true.
It's a little bit of a higher entry to try a brand that you don't necessarily know a lot about because you may not like it. Whereas bourbon, for me at least, a $60, I'm okay with that, right?
Right.
If I get a bourbon that I don't like, I'll make a drink with it.
I did
It'll be a
try
cocktail.
one this day. It was a Four Roses small batch.
Love,
What a bourbon.
Yeah,
love
that's good.
Four Roses.
Yeah.
So
Everything-
though I had experience with bourbons, my
So-
first experience was in Texas. Remember when we had the was it the whiskey fest that we sponsor?
Yeah.
So, well, I went to that event in Texas, so they had a saying that they might not have the best bourbon, but they have the strongest.
yeah.
And Renee said, you go.
Yeah.
Well, I know why. Yeah, I know why.
How about beer during the Oktoberfest? Are you going to beers to try different beers during Oktoberfest?
I would love to go over to Germany for Oktoberfest. I have a couple events that we have that are thrown locally in Auburn for Oktoberfest. Unfortunately, it's this coming weekend. I have a wedding to attend, so I'm missing it. But we have a couple really great events that happen throughout the year where local distiller or breweries, even out-of-state breweries, will come together, and it's a great time. I love it. One day I will go over to Germany and experience a real Oktoberfest.
I enjoy cigars with beer. It's just that I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
much about beer. But
No,
there is some
no,
of them.
there's a-
I'm impressed.
There's
Like,
only
It's a
one
culture.
Well,
There's
because
a
there's only
culture
one
about
beer.
it.
It's just Bud Light. I mean,
Middle light.
I love drinking
It
beer in
depends.
Oktoberfest
Yeah,
because it's always Bud
I
Light.
can't anymore.
Or
Coors now.
Yeah, I know, Coors.
yeah, Coors is trash, but or Natty Light.
I hear it.
Natty Light or Bud Light is my
You know-
go-to. So.
I do respect the Natty Light, but if you drink Natty Light, you can't give me a hard time for drinking Coors.
No, I 100% can. Of course, it's garbage. And Natty Light's half the price.
Well, maybe not anymore. It used to be like $10 for a 30. It's like 16.
Yeah, everything's going up.
But no, that would be certainly a dream come true to be able to go over there. And
My wife's Uncle Dave, where he and I are very close. He's a big bourbon drinker. Not a cigar. What? No, not you. He's a big bourbon drinker, not a cigar smoker. But he's a big runner, long distance runner. He does 50-mile runs.
Definitely not me.
Marathons. So I did a half marathon last year, and he's like, "How about if you commit to a full marathon? I'll pay for our travel. We'll do the one in Germany during Oktoberfest." And it's right now, so clearly I'm not doing it. Nor did I train for it. But I'm like, oh, shit.
I would love to
have a
see
year
you there
trained.
with a
I'm
beer in
like,
your hand.
yeah.
I'm almost there.
I'm like, man, that's really enticing. You pay for the trip, Oktoberfest in Germany. But I think BMW,
Not a bad incentive.
it's the BMW marathon or something like that.
Oh, they have a...
And
yes.
I'm like, shoot, that'd be freaking awesome. But clearly I'm not doing it. So,
Cynthia appreciates the self-edit there.
yeah. But where was I going with that?
Buddy.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's
Perfect.
it's really good.
Screw it. It was a story that I wanted to tell you guys, but you guys don't appreciate it.
I appreciate you
You were
opening
talking
up a
about the
little bit.
beers. We were
Yeah.
talking about beers.
Appreciate you opening up.
Maybe it was just an Oktoberfest thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
But clearly I'm here and not there. So. But Oktoberfest over there is like a full month and a half.
I don't even... Yeah,
Yes.
is it?
Yeah, it's
oh,
a-
you...
yes.
Have you
Start.
been in one?
No, but I've
You
been-
should have gone after Interback. You were at Interback, were you?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was. No, but listen, there was like this, the
made him come
smaller
back for us.
version of it in Dortmund.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. The
Hey.
right way to pronounce it.
In Dortmund, and but listen, it's a funny story. You go there, and all the cigar manufacturers want to go to the Cuban places in Dortmund. Like, come on, like really, like let's go to the German places and
Yeah.
have beer.
Yeah.
So I went with a bunch of friends, German friends, to have beer and cigars over there. I had a blast. I had a fun because listen, I have many places, Cuban places in Miami to go
Yeah.
that I don't want to go when I'm in Germany to a Cuban place.
Yeah.
It's a little better here, I imagine.
No thanks.
The only reason that you go to a Cuban place, because I've done it,
Yeah.
in Europe, is because they usually have in the smoking section that you can go and have cigars if it's
that's
too
cool.
cold. That will be the main reason to go to a Cuban place when you're in Europe.
What do you guys think of Cafe Versailles?
That's what I'm taking you today.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
baby.
I'm gonna get you to the hood.
All right.
Oh.
Get some food.
We're in.
Cuban
Right down
coffee
to
and,
the Cuban Roots.
I love it. I love it.
And then we're gonna
No,
go
listen,
to Ball and
if-
Chain.
If you're in
Did you say
Miami,
ball and chain?
Ball and Chain.
Ball and Chain. If you go
Oh, the
to, if
Cuban
you're here in
place,
Miami, you have to go to Calle Ocho,
Calle
8th
Ocho.
Street, with this little Havana.
Yeah.
You have a small places that make cigars and small cigar shops. Coffee, food, music, amazing. My only advice about the cigars, if you go to any of the small places that make cigars over there, and this is for you and anybody that is listening, you go to Calle Ocho, you're going to buy a cigar, you like it, buy as many as you can afford, because tomorrow they will be different.
Completely different,
You're smoking, you like it, buy as many
Yeah.
as you can afford.
Yeah.
Tomorrow they're using different tobacco. So every
Right,
week
right.
they work with whatever
Whatever
they have.
comes in, whatever they can get.
Whatever they can get. So you can get beautiful cigars. Just make sure that they will change. It's not like it's going to be the same cigar over and over and over.
I was listening, but I'm still very
Thinking
excited
about-
what Hector just said.
No,
so-
but it's a good place to,
Yeah.
to
Our
enjoy
friend-
Miami. You have
We're
to.
gonna take him to La Colada.
You
Cigar
have to
Pesca.
go. We have a great Cuban friend that has a place called La Colada Gourmet. La Colada is the equivalent to an espresso for the Cubans. That's the Spanish name for
I'm
espresso.
going to be up till tomorrow. Holy moly.
Do they have decaf espresso? Decaf Cuban coffee.
Is
that a thing?
Straight to the veins.
Oh,
Yeah. How does
God.
that compare to Turkish coffee? Because I love
Oh,
Turkish
no,
coffee.
nothing.
No.
Nothing
It's
else.
at that level. Just that. Take the Turkish coffee and add a pound of sugar, and then you're into the Cuban side.
I'm in. I'm in. I'm in.
I guess we're not sleeping tonight.
Nope.
We'll just come back here and
No, Turkish coffee is
Renee's
amazing.
office.
Love Turkish coffee.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's that. Take Turkish coffee, add a bunch of sugar, then you
Oh.
have the colada,
Oh, that's it. I'm
the
perfect.
Cuban version of it.
It could be 11 o'clock tonight, and I'd still have one.
Listen, but I have to give it to you with this whiskey.
No, no,
number
no,
two.
no, you can't. No, take it back. Please don't give it to him. He's going to run with it
Say
forever.
that one more time. You what to me?
I have to give it to you.
You
With
give it to
this
me?
whiskey,
Okay.
number 2 is the perfect pairing for number. Listen, I'm not saying that one is better than the other one,
No, but you're saying I'm right.
but you're right.
no.
Okay.
Yes, you're right.
Let's
For
chop
this
that into
whiskey,
short, a
for
YouTube
this
short.
whiskey, that is the cigar, the number 2.
It is. It is, and I'm going to buy a bottle when I get back to South
He
Carolina.
is 100% correct.
I couldn't
It is-
think of it. I was at the liquor store the other day, which seems to be a
Shocker.
regular occurrence, but I'm looking at all scotch. I'm like, God damn, there's so many options.
There is.
I was like, I have no idea what the hell we were drinking at PCA, but it's clear as day now.
If you ever have a question, shoot me a picture. I'll tell you if you like it
Yeah.
or not. Now that I,
I
know
did
what
send
you
you a
like.
picture, didn't I?
You did. Well, it was
that
afterwards,
one.
yeah. Because I couldn't remember this one either.
Yeah.
It is.
so
You are
good.
correct.
This
Yeah,
is
for the
official
number 2
pairing.
blend, the Benriach 10 original,
Smooth.
it is the
Perfect.
one.
Yeah.
It is the one to go to.
Yeah.
Again, the other one is just a different cigar. I think it's a very good cigar
Mm-hmm.
too. Maybe if we were pairing for the smoky,
Yeah.
maybe that could have been
Sure.
the
Yeah,
cigar.
yeah.
Because it's
Probably would go well, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, it's on the stronger side.
You have what I think is a great question.
I have no idea where you're going with this.
The go-to.
Oh, yes. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I really enjoy that. Oh, that's another thing. God bless. Yeah, 2 things go to your head.
Well,
now.
usually I get shit on these podcasts, so it's good to get a compliment. What is
you dish it out. It's 'cause you dish it out so well.
Podcasts, I mean,
I'm neutral, so no one wants to pick on me. I play the mediator, so
what is for each of you your in the portfolio of Villiger? What is your go-to, and what is, if you have, it might be the same. What is your favorite? It could be 1 or 2, and they could be the both.
Hector goes.
No, you go first.
Okay, now listen. My go-to cigar is the Villiger 1888 Corona.
Okay.
Corona size. That is my favorite cigar.
I don't think I've smoked that. Oh, I have, but it's been.
but it was
I mean,
part
we
of your
shipped it
pack.
a
What
few
was
months
part of
ago.
your
No,
pack?
but I
send it to you.
Well, it's still in my bag.
Your homework. You fail a lot of
I
homework.
have a lot of homework to
assignments.
do.
You.
I can't keep up.
That would be the one that I smoke the most
Okay.
from our portfolio.
Yeah.
My favorite, by far, is the Villiger Miami.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
But by
Because
far.
that's the newest one.
By
Yeah,
far.
but, yeah.
Remember, usually we try to blend cigars that go in tune with what's going on, the development of the market.
Yeah.
We don't make cigars for me or for Hector, for
Right.
none of us.
Sure.
We try to be in tune with what's going on in the market. The only cigar that was made to us or for us was the Villiger Miami.
Miami.
I think that I shared the story with you. COVID came, we're here. We wanted to have different cigars. We told the factory to start blending cigars for us.
That's there's no brand that did that.
The cigar was
That I
made
know of.
on something that we like it,
Right.
and that's about it. We had no intention at that point to put the brand in the market.
Right.
Then by 21 people they start coming to the office, and that was a cigar that I was sharing to whomever was coming to the office. You meaning customers, friends,
Yeah.
colleagues, everybody that was coming over here, and it was the people
Yeah.
that started calling the cigar oh yeah, let me have that Miami cigar that you gave.
So at that
me.
point, it was just like an unbanded cigar. There was
Totally,
no.
yes.
Wow.
The first time that we smoked it was we were given an unbanded cigar
Oh,
to the
cool.
customers when they were coming, sort of like the special cigar because you came to visit us.
Sure.
Your private stash.
You could have fooled me. I thought you blended that cigar specifically for me. So
Okay, maybe we told you that, but no.
you could have fooled me because it's.
So it was that was the reason, the story behind on that one when we put the cigar and we created the cigar. That was a blend. That was the only blend as of today that was made actually just for us
Home
to
run.
enjoy cigar.
Home run. So if
Thank
you
you.
want to
So
continue
far-
to blend cigars,
Yes. So far.
But it was something that I learned from Ernesto Perez Carrillo. One time, make sure that when you're making cigars, for them to be a success, you have to like them a lot.
correct.
So that way you are a better ambassador of that cigar.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to be excited about something when
Exactly.
you yourself are, and kind of that's our philosophy. Any cigar that we ship, either Griff, myself, Ramsey, Jeff, whoever, one of us thoroughly enjoys that cigar. We're not going to ship something that none of
has
us
to
like.
impact you in one way that you.
Correct, because
This
when you
is
have something
what
you
my-
like, your passion just
Right.
you don't have to fake it. It just comes through naturally, and you're able to speak for it and
Exactly,
be excited
that
for it.
was what Ernesto Perez Carbillos told me. But again, as you can see, when you take a look at Villiger 1888, Corona Vetola, or the Laguito Numero Uno of the Villiger Miami, I'm more into the mild to medium cigars. I tend to enjoy more. I smoked a lot of the full body cigars because that's part of my job. But it's not my first choice to smoke a full body cigar. I don't like to get dizzy. I don't like to get lightheaded with a cigar. That's just me.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I respect all the different opinions out there, but this is the way that I select a cigar. Besides that, I start smoking like by 10 a.m. I want to have something.
You don't want to be
light.
on your
Yes.
rear end by
Hector,
meeting.
your turn.
My turn. So when I first started, my number one was the Cuellar Cream. Because I didn't know much about cigars, and it was a mild cigar, but with a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
So that's just one thing that I've
Welcome back,
learned.
Griff.
I learned that it doesn't mean that a cigar doesn't have the strength. It doesn't have the flavor.
Sure.
And you can have the flavor, but not the strength.
Absolutely.
Strength is just the ligero they put in there and they make you. But nowadays, to be honest with you, I do go all over the place. I mean, I love the Sandoro Claro in the mornings with a coffee. Then maybe in the afternoon after the barbecue, I do the Sandoro Colorado. That Sandoro Colorado for me is just a fantastic stick.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic stick. Then La Flor de Inclán, don't leave La Flor de Inclán behind.
Yeah.
I mean, on the weekends with a nice bourbon, La Flor de Inclán does it.
Yeah.
Of course, Miami came and, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just that. I mean, to be honest with you, it's just hard for me to tell you, no, because I work for Villiger. Is it one cigar that I will not go and visit again? Of course. Like I said, when I started, it was the Cuellar Cream, my first one. Black Forest, the San Andres, the Maduro.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, that's a dessert.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
it is.
absolutely.
The story
end cap to
behind
the
the
day.
Black Forest was because it was created what Mr. Villiger grew up in. The Black Forest, our headquarters.
Our headquarters are located in an area called the Black Forest.
I didn't know that, did you?
Yeah, that's the reason that we call it a Black Forest. This is a cigar that we cannot sell in Europe, mainly because you know that in Europe they have the control of the origin denomination of the products. So if the product is not made in the Black Forest, you cannot call a product Black Forest in Europe.
Interesting.
So we only sell it in the US. Mr. Villiger wanted to bring it to Europe, but there was no way around because the cigar was not made at the Black Forest.
It's like the champagne has to be made in
Yes, and
champagne.
the wine from
Otherwise
this
it's part
area.
of that
that
area.
area.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Interesting.
Denominación de
Origen
origen
controlada.
controlada, exactly.
Wow. Do they do that in cigars? Well, in Europe.
In Europe, you know, to use the name of any specific region, the product has to be from that
from that.
region. It's almost like if you see in our machine-made cigars, if you see the Swiss flag, it's because that cigar was actually made in Switzerland.
So that would be the exports?
Yes,
Yeah.
Correct.
the export, and we have some other cigars like what is the other one that we have there with the premium number 6? Exactly,
The
and-
Kiel, I don't know if
And the kill, and so whenever you see in any of our products the Swiss flag, the product was made in Switzerland. That is the only way that we can use a Swiss flag on a product. The product was actually made in Switzerland.
Can we grow
There-
some tobacco in the Black Forest?
Yeah.
That will be interesting.
There
Maybe
you
we
go.
should.
That's a 10-year project right there.
10-year project to do it.
Well, I definitely think 2 is, I think the unanimous consent is number 2 by far. We end every episode with a question from one of our customers. Customer submitted question. So Griff's
Okay.
going to read that. We're going to toss up potentially a softball. It could be
Okay.
fastball to you.
It's time for the question of the day. And Sophie said, should we be SpongeBob? I hope she doesn't say anything more than that. Thank you, M.R. Lurk, for your question. I want to get into cigars, but I have no idea what to get or where to start. I've only smoked some Cohibas back in the day.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I want to get into cigars,
what
but I
a
have no
great
idea
question.
what to get or where to start. I've only smoked some Cohibas back in the day.
Listen,
Softball.
I think that my best advice on that one is if you really, really want to get into the cigars, do not go to the flavor cigars. Go to the milder selection of the cigars. Because with the flavor cigars, you're smoking the whatever is the aroma, whatever they have been used to be infused. So it's not really the tobacco that you're tasting; it's more of the flavor that you're experiencing over there. So in our case, you go with the Villiger Cuellar Cream, you go with the Villiger 1888, you go with the Sandoro Claro. You're going on the mild side, that it has flavor, but it won't be too in your face.
Yeah.
It won't be annoying you with the strength and not much of nicotine in the cigar. So the first cigar, and on that one, always ask your local retailer or look at your descriptions of the cigar on your website to go with something that is on the mild side.
Yeah.
That way you can have a good entry point to a cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great.
I started in college, like a lot of, and there's still a place and time, but it's not for me, with flavored cigars.
I thought you were going to say Black and Mild.
No, well, and that,
yeah, that's right, yeah.
which are better than flavored cigars, in my opinion.
Were you customizing them? I'm sorry, call that shit.
Pew and I smoked our first cigar on several podcasts back, and it was a flavored cigar, and it was.
I'm so glad I made the choice.
Absolutely
of a non-flavored
disgusting.
cigar is my first cigar. So,
But I would agree wholeheartedly with
Oh, yeah.
that.
he made
Definitely.
me smoke it too.
Oh, the
Not for
people
me,
tend to
not
talk
for me.
about the transition or to start these flavor cigars. I respect that, but I do not agree with that.
And it's one of the. If you do, just know that that's not
What the cigar is.
the quintessential cigar, right? You're smoking the essence of what they wanted to infuse that cigar with. If that's your journey, if that's the start of your journey, Griff's a prime example.
Don't do it.
That you can graduate. Just know that that's not really.
You're making a mistake.
If you have a good local retailer, they will always,
all
a
the
good
hits.
local retailer will always advise you well on what will
Absolutely.
be the good entry point of whatever selection they might have available over there. A good local retailer. There are
Yes.
some people that they just want to sell whatever they want to sell.
Yeah.
But if you trust your retailer, that is the way to go to ask.
Or you can trust us.
I'm new
There
to
you
cigars.
go.
What should I smoke? Oh, Placencia
There you go.
Alma Fuerte.
Yeah. No.
No,
Yeah.
no, no,
Yeah.
no.
That would be a little too much.
Cohiba, too much to
Yeah.
start.
Sure.
Listen, that's professionals.
Yeah.
Like a complete different thing. You don't start with El Lancero.
Yeah.
No.
Or like if we talk about Vitolas, El Lancero, like the Villiger Miami Laguito #1, you don't start there. You might start with a Robusto.
Sure.
But not with the. I always talk about this. A Robusto is a Vitola for the aficionado. The Laguito #1 or the Lancero is a cigar for the sophisticated smoker.
Yeah.
You might have some experience, you already know what you're doing, because it takes some balance when you're smoking the cigar, the rate, the speed that you smoke,
Yeah,
how much you
it's
puff.
true.
You have to be
and all that
very
good- yeah,
conscious as you smoke that cigar.
As you smoke the cigar.
Yeah.
So it's not only the strength, the Vitola that you are.
Yeah, you can't rush a
experiencing.
Lancero.
A Lancero, and you overheat it, and then that's
it changes completely. This may be one of the most fun podcasts.
Well,
It could also be not only the friends with, but the copious amounts of rum and scotch certainly have. You had to leave halfway through.
to go to the bathroom, yes.
Yeah, well,
Not to throw up or anything.
well, that's good. I assumed
Yes.
as much.
Right here.
Yeah,
Some more.
yeah. If you'll hit me a little bit on the empty glass.
No,
full.
but listen, keep all with the Villiger brand in your mind, in your repertoire of cigars that you're smoking. It's we
you.
are working very hard to put the best cigar possibles. We're very picky on the tobacco that we use. We have a lot, and I really mean it, a lot of tobacco in the factories. So we always are very proud of having well-aged tobacco even before we use it to the cigars. And then we age the cigars well. Just to give you an idea, we always try to be 4 to 6 months ahead of the game whenever we put something into the market. Even the tobacco being well-aged, we even go to that extent because we are very proud of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure that your first experience with Villiger is always a great experience.
Yeah.
So that way you're open to try
gotta
the
be
different
memorable.
blends that exactly.
Sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So that is, we try to keep it simple but very professional on what we do with the cigars.
That's great. I love it. Well, this was
that sounds like a political speech.
That was-
about
I mean,
my
yeah.
office.
I was getting really
Yeah.
excited.
Well, you're the president already, so.
Yeah, well, there you have it, folks.
Yeah.
Blend number 2 locked in for Customs 2023. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for the next episode. Till next time, happy smoking.
Cheers.